This is Kathy from Gadget Stop 321, and in today's video I'm going to be giving my first impressions of the Pilot 78G. Now, I was wanting to try a Pilot medium nib, and I didn't want to get another Prera. I already have two of those, and I didn't want a Metropolitan. I'm just not fond of the proportions. And when I saw the 78G, I don't know, something about the proportions of it I just like. I'm kind of a fan. There are a few cylinder pens that I like, the Lamy logo and the Lamy CP1 and the Faber-Castell Ambition, and my eye was just kind of drawn to this. I like this color scheme, the teal and gold. That might not be for everybody, but there are, several colors available. And this is the older model. When I tried to find some videos on YouTube and look up some information about the 78G, it's all older stuff, but now there's a 78G Plus, and from what I can tell, it's just updated colors. So this is the teal and gold. From what I can tell, they all have gold hardware. It posts nice and deeply. That's one of the things that kind of drew me to it, that I saw in videos people commented about. It's very light, but the plastic feels decent. I got the medium nib, and it comes with a converter, but it's one of the little squeeze converters. I've never used one of those before, and I thought, oh, no big deal. I'll just refill it like I do all my pens with an ink syringe. The only problem is, since it's not transparent, when you're trying to fill it with a syringe, it's hard to tell how full it is. So when I refill this pen, I'll probably just refill an empty used cartridge. It's injection molded, so on the back end it's got that little divot. There are seams that you really have to look close to see. So it's well made for, there's a little divot on top. Oh, my nails look horrible. I've been out working in the yard today. The clip is just a nice, tasteful, plain clip attached to a band here. This is not an actual cat band, it's just, I guess, stamped on there, printed on there. One of the things you might notice when you uncap it, the threads aren't super tight. That gives it somewhat of a cheap feel, but the things that I like about this pen outweigh those little, what I consider minor flaws. When I was doing my research on this pen before I got it, it looked like just a few years ago these pens were selling for about $10 or so, and I don't know if they were being sold by retailers here in the US, but now you can only get them from, overseas retailers. I got this one on eBay, so they're running about $20, which to me, I think this is a nice alternative to the Metropolitan, so I was willing to pay $20 for it. In fact, I have another one on the way. This one's a 78G, Pilot 78G. The one that's on the way is a 78G Plus. So I'll compare the materials, see if it's a similar quality of plastic. Now, let's see, this is... Now, I've tried this on a variety of papers. This is Rhodia, my Rhodia ice pad, This is a medium nib. It's nice and smooth on this paper, but on some of the other papers I've tried it on, I wasn't that fond of it. And that probably has more to do with the ink that I'm using. It's the infamous Diamine Earl Grey. Since I like this so much, this ink, I like it so much in my Custom 74, I had to see how well it worked in this pen. And this pen, look how dry that is. Let me show you the difference between it and the Custom 74. This is a fine nib. See how much wetter that is. So I'm not super pleased with this ink in this pen, and I knew that was a possibility, but I just had to try it. What I think I'm going to do is switch inks. I've got Stone Gray in my E95S, and it seems like a wetter ink. The E95S is definitely a wetter pen, so when I switch inks, I'm going to give that one a try. But for this paper, it's a nice little note taker, a nice everyday pen. So I'm very pleased with it. Now, in my little mini ARC notebook that I use as an ink journal, this pen, ink, and paper combination is unpleasant. And what I found with this ink, it's not very saturated, it's very watery, and this paper is just too absorbent for this ink, so it just soaks up the water so quickly, it just dries too fast. Now, I noted that on Tomoe River paper, I liked it much better. So on the Tomoe River paper and the Rhodia, it was a similar writing experience. Let's see how the wetness compares on. Yeah, the Tomoe River paper does not absorb the water, the liquid in the ink so quickly, so you have a more pleasant writing experience. So I'm gonna enjoy using this as a note taker. One of the good things about it being so narrow is these little Leuchtturm pen loops. Now these little things are tight, even with this pen being so narrow. It takes a little work to get it in there, but it holds it, it's in there tight. It's not going to slide out accidentally. And on a little Leuchtturm pocket journal, that makes a nice little setup there. And the this pen, you know, felt decent on Leuchtturm paper. So I'm looking forward to using this little pen. It's one of those pens that when you find it and it just fits you, I do like to post my pens, and this just fits my hand. Look how well balanced that is. Not back weighted at all. The section looks similar to the section on a Metropolitan, so if you're not fond of how narrow the Metropolitan section is, you may not be fond of that, but this pen does not have that, you know, sharp or steep step that the Metropolitan has. That's one of the things that, you know, kind of turns me off about the Metropolitan. Let's see. Yeah. I like how that fits in my hand. All right. If you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel.